Garbage men / woman of the world. What's the best / worst thing you have found thrown away? My father was a garbage man when I was born. I don't remember because I was like 3 months old. But my first dog was in the trash. My dad stopped, picked up a box, and heard some shuffling on the inside, and there were 2 puppies. My dad kept one and the driver kept the other. They were brother and sister. My dad assumed he kept the male and named him Jasper. He was literally my best friend growing up. I had him for 13 years and my dad tells me the job was worth it just for that dog. He called the police and animal control on the residents, but doesn't know what happened after that. All I know is I'm 37 and still love that dog so much. I'm so thankful my dad saved him and his sister. I worked in the scrap metal business and have found not 1, but 2 of 3 exact same brass statue of 2 bears screwing each other. Found a 55-inch TV next to the dumpster 4 years ago. It was missing one HDMI port on the side. It looked like someone might have tripped and ripped it out. Anyway, I opened it up, googled the motherboard serial number, and found a brand new replacement for like $60 less than 25 minutes away. Needless to say, I called ahead on my day off, picked it up, and it works like a charm. Still use the TV to this day. I worked as a garbage man in 1972. A small stray cat jumped into the back of the hopper to look for food. I took him home and named him Sagan. This was the best thing. Second best thing, someone threw out an old pair of skis. There was snow on the ground and me and the other guy each took a ski and stood on it and held onto the truck. Great fun. Third best, we found an entire case of Brial cream. Look it up. And me and the other guy had Brial cream fights all day. Total mess. I stripped off before going into my house after work. Worst things, a garbage can that had live coals in it that started our truck on fire. When I was a kid I found a couch. It wasn't very big, but that's why it was so great. 10-year-old me was able to carry it all the way home by myself. About a block and a half. This was before kids having cell phones were huge, so I didn't call my parents about it first, and they were at the store anyways. So I took the couch home and put it in my room. It was pretty dated. Made of some material I've never encountered again so far, but I thought I was the shit. I had a whole couch in my room. How many 10-year-olds had couches in their room? Well, my parents came home and clearly weren't happy, but given I carried it up to the 2nd story and got it into my room, they let me keep it. My downstairs neighbor helped me. I felt like a king. My dad was a trash man when I was growing up. He would always be bringing cool stuff home to us. He used to always say that the poor neighborhoods had the most trash and they threw away literally everything. The 2 best ones that I can think of was a brand new BMX bike and like 20 Nintendo 64 games that he found at a video rental store. Also, once at the transfer station, one of his co-workers found a dummy arm in the big pile of trash. He pulled it and it ended up being a dead guy. The police later determined that it was a homeless person that got picked up and died when the trash truck compacted him. Not a garbage person, but I live in a large apartment complex. I could have furnished multiple apartments with all the stuff that gets thrown out here and partially furnished mine, but the best thing I've seen in the pile was one of those grandfather clocks you can make from a kit. Still looked very nice, but it needed some fixing to get it to run again. I'm still waiting to find a piano. I would like a piano. In the 80s I picked up a number of Philips color TVs. I had a few, so fixing them was just a question of swapping parts. I then sold them cheaply or gave them away to fellow students. Oh man, my time to shine. I've been working at a waste transfer station, garbage dump for many years. The worst I've seen, just garbage, not counting stuff brought to the hazmat department. A freezer stuffed with a skinned, rotting, headless deer carcass. We nearly called the cops before we realized it wasn't human. Used needles. The worst being a tie between porcupine couch and the lady who literally handed me a paper bag full of syringes she found during a park cleanup. Large container of old crystallized picric acid. Bomb squad had to deal with that one. The best. A high-end laptop in perfect condition except for a tiny crack on the LCD panel. Easy DIY repair that took $40 in 5 minutes. Thing would cost $1. New. Enough brand new furniture to literally furnish my whole apartment. A high-end military grade inflatable boat, brand new. The weirdest. A first gen platelet counting machine, complete with weird tubes of bright green liquid and mercury. When I was prepping it for hazmat disposal I had to call the company that bought the company that made it for some info. They never digitized the records, but the oldest repair tech still working was super excited because he remembered servicing them 50 years ago. Coffin. No body, just the coffin. Couldn't see anything wrong with it either. Buckets of testicles from a ranch that had been sitting out in the summer heat for a week. Smelled so bad my coworker hurled. That's not the weird part. The weird part is the guys wanted their buckets back. Do you know how bad it has to smell to make a garbage collector puke? And they wanted them back? The $10K duffel bag. Lady came in super upset because earlier she threw out a duffel bag that she didn't know her boyfriend kept cash in. Over $10,000 in cash. We never found the bag. 16 full-size barrels of old vegetable grease some guy had saved up in his garage. He was planning to make a biodiesel car or something. In the early 2000s my best friend's dad was a garage man. I used to hang out at their house a lot and I remember him finding uncut sheets of holographic Dragon Ball Z trading cards in the trash and bringing them back. They were super dope to see. My friend found a PS4, excellent condition, and a brand new controller still in the box. Elaine cedar chest. I was helping my dad clean out this lady's garage, and she said, as long as we were there, we might as well take that too. She said she always hated the smell of cedar, but her husband wouldn't let her get rid of it, and now that he was dead, she was sending it on its way. The veneer was never in great shape but it still keeps my wool items safe. I've had it for over 30 years now. Worked as a garbage man for a very short time last summer, but the best thing I found was an edition of my local newspaper from the day after the Challenger exploded. Not a garbage man, but have rescued projectors, computers, furniture and even a very expensive Yamaha keyboard. Just needed a new plug from skip/being thrown out. Loads of music scores. A dining room table with nothing wrong with it. I may be just about to get a 65 touchscreen TV that's no longer touchscreen too. Depends on what happens to it over the next few days. Large companies throw all sorts away and they're far more focused on, I just need to get rid of this, than spending the time to find someone to take it. By the same token, I've also binned about 20 fully working interactive whiteboards because I couldn't get anyone interested in taking them. Not me but my brother. Someone apparently threw out grandpa's stuff from the attic after he passed away. This was the last scheduled pickup at the house and everything was already moved out. Nobody living there. Driving an automated claw to grab and dump truck. My brother was irritated there were these 2 bowling bags he had to get out to throw in the truck. He realized they seemed a bit heavy, so he opened them to see why. Inside there was real silverware/flatware. He ended up selling it for scrap prices to a jeweler and got $3,000. I'm not a garbage man, but I once scored a whole custom built staircase from a dumpster. It was in perfect condition, but apparently built to the wrong spec. It worked great for my barn. My father was a garbage man who also did cleanouts for homes and businesses, where they rip apart the entire building and throw everything out in their dumpsters. He worked on a ton of really massive houses, some worth tens of millions of dollars. One was worth 40 million and wasn't even the permanent residence. Best things I got as a kid. A pretty much unused trampoline with a net and everything. A go-kart that my dad's friend was able to fix up and we used all the time. I live on a dead end. And once he cleaned out a deli that was closing down and we no joke had unlimited Snapples and sodas of every flavor for almost a year. I'd drink the Snapples while out on the trampoline. I used the hell out of all 3 of those things in my childhood. My little brother was emptying out a client's basement and everything was going to be thrown away, so my brother was told to keep anything he wanted. He saw a nice looking bike and took it. Turns out it was a Dahon Mu P8 30th anniversary limited edition and in perfect condition. From what I found on it, it goes for over $4,000. When I was growing up, my neighbor worked at the local council. One night he knocked on the door trying to rehome a couple of kittens that one of the workers had, apparently, found at the local tip. All I remember was this absolute giant of a man, normally the most calm and chill person I'd ever met, absolutely seething with anger while holding a tiny ginger and white kitten in one of his hands. My guess is that someone had dropped off a box with them in hoping it wouldn't be noticed, which somehow seems like more of a dick move and more effort than just leaving them somewhere public where they might be found by someone, even if you don't want to take them to a shelter. Anyway, as much as I begged and pleaded I wasn't allowed to keep one because my dad claimed allergies. No trash kitty for me. Thanks for watching and share your stories. Don't forget to consider the idea to maybe think about potentially subscribing. Peace.